7 Little Johnstons. Anna says confrontation with Trent in new season was a setup. Reality television thrives on drama. The louder, the messier, the better. Producers know it, networks bank on it, and audiences, whether they admit it or not, tune in for it. TLC's long-running hit 7 Little Johnstons has, for nearly a decade, offered viewers an intimate look into the lives of a close-knit family navigating the unique challenges and triumphs of dwarfism while raising 5 children in small-town Georgia. But what happens when the family you've invited into your living room for years suddenly becomes the center of controversy? When emotions run high, cameras keep rolling, and the editing room holds the power to twist words and moments into something unrecognizable? In the latest season of 7 Little Johnstons, fans were treated, or perhaps subjected, to a particularly explosive confrontation between matriarch Anna Johnston and her husband, Trent. The scene, which aired midway through the season, showed Anna in tears, accusing Trent of being emotionally distant and dismissive of her needs. Trent, visibly frustrated, responded with clipped remarks and what many viewers interpreted as cold indifference. Social media erupted. Fan forums lit up. Hashtags like #TeamAnna and #Trent needs to step up trended for days. The fallout was swift, public, and deeply personal. But now, in a candid, unfiltered interview, Anna Johnston is speaking out, and what she has to say may change the way viewers interpret not just that confrontation, but perhaps the entire reality TV genre. It was a setup, Anna says flatly, sitting in the cozy living room of the Johnston family home, sunlight filtering through the blinds behind her. Not in the sense that Trent and I weren't having issues, every married couple does. But the way it was presented? The timing, the build-up, the editing? That wasn't organic. That was manufactured. Anna, known for her no-nonsense demeanor and fierce advocacy for her family, doesn't mince words. She leans forward, hands clasped, eyes steady. I trusted the process. I trusted that even though it's reality TV, they'd respect the truth of our lives. But that scene? That wasn't our truth. It was a storyline they needed to keep people watching. To understand the weight of Anna's accusation, it's important to revisit the context of the confrontation. In the episodes leading up to the blow-up, viewers saw Anna increasingly overwhelmed, juggling the needs of their youngest children, managing household responsibilities, and trying to carve out space for her own mental health. Trent, meanwhile, was portrayed as preoccupied with work, often absent from home, and seemingly oblivious to Anna's mounting stress. Small disagreements about chores, schedules, parenting styles were shown escalating, culminating in the now infamous living room showdown. In the scene, Anna confronts Trent, voice trembling, "You don't see me. You don't hear me. I'm drowning, and you're just watching." Trent responds, "I'm doing the best I can. You're blowing this out of proportion." The camera lingers on Anna's tear-streaked face. Trent walks out. Cue dramatic music. Cut to black. What you didn't see, she explains, is that Trent had just come home from a 14-hour workday. He was exhausted. I was exhausted. We were both running on empty. We'd actually talked earlier that day, calmly, about how we needed to find time to reconnect. We even made a plan to have a date night that weekend. The producers kept asking me how I was feeling, Anna recalls. They'd say, "You seem stressed. Want to talk about it?" I'd shrug it off, "Yeah, just tired." But they kept pushing. "Maybe you should tell Trent how you're really feeling." On camera. I didn't think much of it. We've done confessional interviews for years. I figured it was just another day. They set up the cameras in the living room, Anna continues. They asked Trent to sit down. They told me to just be honest. And then, they kept asking questions off camera. Prodding. "Are you sure that's all you want to say? Don't you think he should know how much this is hurting you? What if you told him you feel invisible?" Anna pauses, shaking her head. It was like they were handing me lines. I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back, they were steering me. Feeding the emotion. And when Trent reacted, which, by the way, was him trying to stay calm because he knew the cameras were rolling, they cut it to make him look like a jerk. She's careful to clarify, Trent isn't perfect. Neither am I. We argue. We get frustrated. We say things we regret. But we also communicate. We apologize. We work through it. That's marriage. That's life. But reality TV doesn't want life. It wants fireworks. I felt ambushed, he admits, joining the conversation from the kitchen doorway. I walked in thinking we were doing a quick check-in. Next thing I know, Anna's crying, the cameras are zoomed in on my face, and I'm being asked to respond to things I didn't even know were issues, at least, not in the way they were being presented. He runs a hand through his hair, sighing. Look, I know how this looks. I know people think I'm this cold, uncaring husband. But that's not who I am. That's not who we are as a couple. And it kills me that our kids had to see that version of us on TV. That's perhaps the most painful part of all this, the impact on the Johnston children. Elizabeth, Jonah, Emma, Alex, and Anna's youngest, Charlotte, have grown up on camera. They've shared their milestones, their struggles, their sibling squabbles, and their heartfelt moments with millions of viewers. But seeing their parents portrayed in such a negative, adversarial light, that's new territory. Elizabeth came to me after it aired, Anna says, her voice softening. She said, Mom, is Dad really like that? Are you guys okay? And my heart broke. Because no, we're okay. We're better than okay. But the show made it look like we were falling apart. Emma, ever the peacemaker, tried to reassure her siblings. Mom and Dad argue sometimes, she told them. All parents do. This is just TV stuff. Fan reactions, while mostly supportive of Anna, have taken a toll. Trent has been the target of online harassment, angry DMs, cruel comments, even threats. People don't realize these are real people, Anna says, anger creeping back into her tone. They see a character on a screen and think it's okay to say whatever they want. But Trent is my husband. He's a good man. He's a great father. And he didn't deserve to be vilified like that. So why go along with it? Why allow the producers to manipulate the narrative? At first, you think, it's just TV. People will understand. But the longer you do it, the more you realize, they don't. They believe what they see. And if what they see is edited to make you look like a saint or a sinner, that's the story that sticks. She also acknowledges the complicated relationship between reality stars and the shows they appear on. We're contracted. We're paid. We agreed to let cameras into our lives. But there's an unspoken understanding, or at least, there should be, that you won't be made to look like someone you're not. That unspoken understanding, she says, has been broken. Anna reveals that similar setups have happened throughout the season, and previous seasons, too. There was an episode where I was shown yelling at Jonah for not doing his chores. What they didn't show was that he'd just come home from school, dumped his backpack, and gone straight to help his little sister with her homework. I wasn't mad at him, I was stressed about something else, and I took it out on him. 5 minutes later, I apologized. We laughed about it. But the apology? Didn't make the cut. She leans back, crossing her arms. That's the thing about reality TV. It's not reality. It's a highlight reel, except instead of highlights, it's lowlights. Drama. Conflict. Tears. Because that's what gets ratings. Trent nods. We've talked about walking away. More than once. But then we think about the platform we have. The awareness we raise for the dwarfism community. The messages we get from families who say our show helped them feel less alone. That's important. That's worth something. We're at a crossroads, Anna admits. Do we keep doing this, knowing they'll twist our words and manufacture drama? Or do we step back and protect our family, our real family, not the TV version? It's a question without an easy answer, and one that speaks to the broader ethical dilemmas of reality television. How much should producers interfere? Where's the line between documenting real life and creating fiction? And what responsibility do networks have to the people whose lives they broadcast? We want people to know the truth, Anna says. Not the edited, dramatized, clickbait version. The real us. Flaws and all. We're not perfect. We argue. We mess up. But we love each other. We're committed to each other. And we're committed to our kids. She smiles faintly. Maybe that's not as entertaining as a screaming match. But it's real. And maybe, just maybe, that's what people need to see. As the interview winds down, Anna has one final message for the fans, the ones who've stuck with the Johnstons through thick and thin. Thank you for loving our family. Thank you for your support. But please, don't believe everything you see on TV. Behind every dramatic edit, every tearful confession, every heated argument, there's a real person. A real family. And we're doing the best we can. Trent adds, and if you're Team Anna? Be Team Us. Because we're on the same team. Always have been. Whether TLC will allow that message to be heard, unedited, unspun, unmanipulated, remains to be seen. But for Anna and Trent Johnston, the most important audience isn't the millions watching at home. 7 Little Johnstons returns this fall with baby milestones, health challenges, and family festivities. As autumn leaves begin to turn and the crisp air ushers in a season of change, TLC's beloved reality series 7 Little Johnstons returns to television screens with its most emotionally layered, joy-filled, and challenging season yet. The Johnston family, parents Trent and Amber, and their 5 children Jonah, Elizabeth, Anna, Emma, and Alex, continue to navigate life with dwarfism, not as a limitation, but as a unique lens through which they experience triumphs, trials, and the everyday magic of family life. This fall, viewers will witness baby milestones that tug at the heartstrings, health challenges that test resilience, and family festivities that remind us all what truly matters. Since its debut, 7 Little Johnstons has offered more than just reality TV drama. It's become a cultural touchstone for conversations around disability, parenting, identity, and unconditional love. The show doesn't sanitize the struggles, it doesn't romanticize the victories. Instead, it presents the Johnstons as they are, a loud, loving, occasionally chaotic, fiercely loyal unit learning to grow, together and apart, in a world not always built for them. This season, the spotlight shines brightest on the youngest member of the clan, baby Charlotte Grace Johnston, Emma, and boyfriend Ryan's daughter, born earlier this year. Charlotte's arrival didn't just add a new face to family photos, she ushered in a new chapter of parenting, responsibility, and intergenerational bonding that ripples through every corner of the household. Emma, now a young mother in her early 20s, is stepping into uncharted territory. Viewers who watched her blossom from a spirited teen into a thoughtful, determined young woman will find her transformation into motherhood both inspiring and relatable. The show doesn't shy away from the sleepless nights, the diaper disasters, or the overwhelming moments of self-doubt. But it also captures the quiet magic, Emma rocking Charlotte in the early hours of the morning, her face soft with awe as she watches her daughter discover her own fingers for the first time. Trent and Amber, now grandparents, beam with pride but also wrestle with the delicate art of stepping back while still being present. Amber, ever the nurturing force, finds herself torn between offering guidance and respecting Emma's autonomy. Trent, usually the laid-back jokester, becomes surprisingly sentimental, often caught staring at Charlotte with misty eyes, marveling at how quickly time flies. Charlotte's milestones become family milestones. Her first laugh echoes through the house like a symphony. Her first attempts at crawling send everyone scrambling to baby-proof corners they hadn't considered before. When she utters her first semi-coherent mama, Emma bursts into tears, not of sadness, but of overwhelming joy. The moment is captured not with fanfare, but with raw intimacy, the camera lingering on Emma's trembling smile, Ryan's proud grin, and Amber quietly wiping her eyes from the kitchen doorway. But amid the joy, reality doesn't pause. This season doesn't gloss over the fact that parenting, especially for someone as young as Emma, is exhausting, emotionally taxing, and sometimes lonely. Emma opens up about the pressure she feels, not just as a new mom, but as a little person navigating motherhood in a world quick to judge. She talks about stares in the grocery store, unsolicited advice from strangers, and the internal battle between wanting to prove she's capable and simply wanting to be seen as a mom, not a little mom. Ryan, supportive but still learning himself, tries his best to shoulder the load, but the show doesn't paint him as a perfect partner. He fumbles. He forgets bottles. He falls asleep during late-night feedings. And that's okay. Their relationship is portrayed with refreshing honesty, not as a fairy tale, but as a work in progress, strengthened by shared love for their daughter and a willingness to grow together. Meanwhile, baby Charlotte's health becomes a subtle but significant thread woven throughout the season. Born with achondroplasia, the most common form of dwarfism, Charlotte's development is monitored closely by doctors. While she's thriving, the family confronts the reality that her journey will include medical appointments, potential surgeries, and adaptations most parents never consider. A routine checkup turns tense when a specialist suggests possible ear tube surgery, a common procedure for children with dwarfism due to recurring ear infections. Emma, though outwardly calm, later confesses to her journal, a new addition this season. Private video diaries give viewers deeper access to the family's inner thoughts, that she felt a wave of guilt, wondering if she could have prevented it. Amber gently reminds her that Charlotte's condition isn't anyone's fault, it's simply part of who she is. "We don't fix her," Amber says firmly. "We support her. We adapt for her. We celebrate her." Jonah, now fully immersed in college life, faces his own set of challenges. Living away from home for the first time, he grapples with independence, accessibility issues on campus, and the loneliness that sometimes creeps in when you're the only little person in your dorm. He candidly discusses how professors sometimes talk over him or assume he needs more help than he does. But Jonah, ever the quiet warrior, advocates for himself, requesting accessible desks, speaking up when assumptions are made, and even educating classmates with gentle humor. His growth is palpable. Where once he shied away from attention, he now leads a campus disability awareness group, organizing events and speaking panels. His parents watch from afar with a mix of pride and heartache, the universal ache of watching your child become their own person. Elizabeth, always the family's emotional barometer, dives deeper into her passion for advocacy and public speaking. She's invited to speak at a national conference on disability inclusion, and the episode chronicling her preparation is one of the season's most powerful. We see her rehearsing in front of her mirror, voice shaking at first, then growing stronger. We see her choosing her outfit, not for fashion, but for function and confidence. And when she steps on stage, the camera doesn't cut away. We watch her captivate the room, her words sharp, personal, and deeply moving. "Being little isn't my tragedy," she declares. "It's my truth. And my truth deserves space." The standing ovation she receives isn't just for her, it's for every little person who's ever been told to shrink themselves to fit in. Anna, ever the creative soul, explores new artistic avenues. She begins painting again, something she'd set aside during high school, and her work becomes a visual diary of her emotional landscape. One painting, titled "The Space Between," depicts 5 figures, her family, each in their own color, connected by swirling threads. She explains that it represents how, even when they're physically apart or emotionally distant, they're still bound together. Her art becomes a bridge, especially when she gifts a portrait of Charlotte to Emma, a gesture that brings Emma to tears. "You captured her soul," Emma whispers. Anna just smiles. "I captured our family's heart." Alex, the baby of the original 5, now a teenager, enters a phase of self-discovery that's equal parts exhilarating and terrifying. He begins questioning his identity beyond being the little brother or the cute one. He experiments with his style, dyes his hair, and even auditions for the school play, a bold move for someone who's spent years avoiding the spotlight. His storyline this season is perhaps the most universally relatable, the awkward, beautiful, painful process of figuring out who you are when the world keeps trying to tell you. He has heart-to-hearts with Trent, who shares his own teenage insecurities. I used to hate how people stared, Trent admits. Then I realized they're staring because I'm living. I'm out here. I'm not hiding. And that's power. Alex takes those words to heart. By season's end, he lands a small role in the school play, not the lead, but a character with a monologue about self-acceptance. When he delivers it on opening night, the entire Johnston clan is in the front row, beaming. Of course, no season of 7 Little Johnstons would be complete without family festivities, and this fall delivers in spades. The Johnstons have always known how to celebrate, and this year, with Charlotte's arrival, the holidays take on new meaning. Halloween becomes a production, Amber transforms the house into a haunted mansion, fully accessible, of course, and the kids spend weeks designing costumes. Charlotte, dressed as a tiny pumpkin, steals the show. Thanksgiving is a feast of gratitude, not just for food, but for health, for growth, for another year together. The table overflows with laughter, stories, and the occasional sibling squabble. Some things never change. But it's Christmas that truly encapsulates the spirit of the season. The family embarks on a mission to create Charlotte's first Christmas, a day so magical, so full of wonder, that she'll feel it in her bones even if she doesn't remember it. They decorate the tree together, Alex insisting on placing the star, Emma holding Charlotte so she can help hang ornaments. They bake cookies, sing carols, badly, and watch classic holiday movies piled on the couch under a mountain of blankets. The episode ends not with a grand finale, but with a quiet moment, Trent and Amber, alone in the living room after everyone's gone to bed, sipping cocoa and watching the twinkling lights. "We did okay, didn't we?" Amber asks. Trent takes her hand. "We're doing better than okay. We're doing family." Yet, woven through the festivities are moments of vulnerability. A doctor's appointment for Jonah reveals he may need spinal surgery next year, a common but serious procedure for people with achondroplasia. The news hangs heavy over the family Christmas dinner, though no one mentions it outright. You see it in the way Amber watches Jonah laugh a little too hard at Alex's joke, or how Trent lingers in Jonah's doorway that night, pretending to adjust his blanket. Health is never far from the surface in the Johnston household, not because they're defined by it, but because they're realistic about it. They don't sugarcoat. They prepare. They support. They love harder. This season also introduces new dynamics, Emma and Ryan navigating co-parenting logistics, Elizabeth mentoring a younger girl with dwarfism, Anna selling her first painting online, Alex getting his learner's permit, a hilarious and nerve-wracking episode involving a specially adapted car and Trent white-knuckling the passenger seat. Through it all, the theme remains, adaptation is not surrender. It's strategy. It's love in action. 7 Little Johnstons has never been just a show about a family with dwarfism. It's a show about resilience. About joy found in the smallest moments. About the courage it takes to raise children in a world that doesn't always understand them. About the beauty of imperfection. About the power of showing up, for your kids, for your partner, for yourself. As this season draws to a close, the camera lingers on a family photo, all 7 Johnstons, plus Ryan and baby Charlotte, squeezed together on the porch swing. Some are smiling. Some are making silly faces. Charlotte is drooling on Emma's shoulder. It's not perfect. It's better than perfect. It's real. Because in a world obsessed with filters and facades, the Johnstons offer something rare, authenticity. They let us see the tears with the laughter, the fears with the triumphs, the messy middle where life actually happens. They remind us that family isn't about having it all together, it's about holding each other together when things fall apart.